Hello and welcome back to Field Study, an exploration of food and the landscape. So it's been an incredibly busy week down here on the Isle of Wight, and we've been harvesting a lot. It is late summer, it is beginning of harvest season, and everything is ramping up. I thought it might be nice to do like a compilation vlog sort of thing so I can bring you guys along with whatever we are doing. So I hope you enjoy. So first things first, let me take you back a few days to the first glimpse of sunshine that we've had this month, and a beautiful evening that me and Abby spent harvesting hazelnuts in her home village, which is a few miles over that way. Hazel in the UK is one of our most prolific native trees, and you can find it growing pretty much everywhere. At this time of year, as summer wanes into autumn, it's time to harvest its nuts. They're incredibly nutritious and delicious and used to be one of the staple foodstuffs of our ancestors. In parts of the UK, they were cultivated as cob nuts, which are delicious eaten raw in salads. So this is the extent of the harvest. I've sort of laid them out down on the table down here at Field Study HQ, just to dry out really. So these husks will go all papery, and the nut will sort of dry out and go brown and mature and be good for storing. So they're sort of laid out here. If they don't sort of cure and dry in time, then I'll whack them in the dehydrator just to speed up the process. But this is a good harvest. I'm quite impressed with the amount that we got. So this is actually quite an early harvest down here on the Isle of Wight. So I like to pick some now, early in the season, and store them just so I know that I've got them. Because a little bit later on in the season, as they start to mature, the squirrels will go after them. Now we're very lucky here on the island in that we don't have a grey squirrel population, and grey squirrels will eat hazelnuts and cob nuts before they're ripe, so sort of at this stage. And it means that it can be very difficult to harvest them in other places. I know when I lived down in East Sussex, we rarely ever got any hazelnuts from the wild, but here on the island we have a population of red squirrels that have more discerning tastes, and they sort of wait for the cob nut to be mature. You can see one here actually, so it's starting to go brown and dry out at the top. So that's what we are looking for. Recognisable as hazelnuts. And then some of them I'm going to grind into a hazelnut flour, I think. And I think some of the ones that we harvest a little bit later on in the year, I'm going to make a hazelnut porter with, so do a little bit of beer making with it, which will be lovely, I think, ready in time for Christmas. You know, a nice nutty winter beer. Something quite heavy with good mouthfeel and stuff. I feel like these hazelnuts will be a good pairing for it. But yes, so this is one of the harvests that we've got this week. Like I say, I will in probably about a month's time, 4 weeks, something like that, go back to the place where we usually get most of our hazelnuts from and make a secondary harvest. But like I say, I like to get an early harvest in just for peace of mind really, so I know that even if the squirrels are particularly hungry this year and get through a lot of them, that I still have some down here to play with, because they're one of my favourite harvests of the year. They're super versatile. I like putting them in like stews and stuff in the winter to bulk them out, add protein, flavour, all of those good things. So yeah, I like knowing that I've got some here harvested, if you know what I mean. So this is another exciting thing that we've got going on down here at Field Study HQ at the moment. So I've repurposed one of these poly kegs as a fermenter. I've managed to sort of doctor the top and put an airlock on it. And in here is about 24 litres of beautiful wheat beer. So this is the primary fermentation stage. I'm fermenting it using a Norwegian farmhouse yeast, so it's quite vigorous and gives off lots of like delicious flavours. So these sort of traditional yeasts, they're called Kveik yeasts. They give off lots of beautiful flavours, lots of beautiful esters. You can get like clove off of them, like spicy notes. So what I'm going to do with this is put it through primary fermentation and then rack some of it off into a demijohn and then ferment it on top of some elderberries and some other wild autumn fruits. And that might do two things. It could introduce some bacteria that could sour it and we'll have a beautiful fruited sour wheat beer, or it could just impart some lovely sort of like fruit skin flavour into the beer itself. The rest of it I'm just going to bottle and drink because it is going to be lovely. Beer. We had a little bit of a blowover situation at the top. This yeast is incredibly aggressive when it gets going. So yes, note to self, leave a little bit more headroom next time so you don't get a blowover. What can you do? You live and you learn. It's going to be absolutely delicious. And I'm actually going to be harvesting some of this yeast that is coming off of it in a traditional way. I might show that in a video. And it's a way of preserving yeast for brewery and bread making and stuff that has been done for millennia in this part of the world. So yeah, it would be interesting to show you guys that. I'd really like to show you some examples of the artifacts that are used for it, because they can be beautiful as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That's probably going to be an autumn project, maybe when the weather turns a little bit colder and I'm in here drying mushrooms and whittling and stuff like that. So yeah, in a few weeks' time, when this has gone through secondary fermentation with all of that autumnal fruit, I'm going to be doing a live stream and a live tasting. I might even have a special guest joining. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that. It is a rare and beautiful day here on the Isle of Wight. It's been rainy for about a month now, and it really feels like August today, which is a welcome surprise. In fact, the temperature on the greenhouse thermometer says that it's 39 degrees in here today, so maybe I need to get some of these windows open. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring you into the greenhouse and show you some of the stuff that we got growing. The season is in full swing, lots of stuff has finished, but we've got some beautiful things in here that are just about ready to harvest. So one of the things that we've got here is my onions from this year, or some of my onions from this year. So these have come out of the beds out there in the actual garden. We've got some beautiful ones. We've got these long Florence, I believe they were called, beautiful long shallot type banana things. And then we've got these lovely little red barons. We ate most of the bigger ones fresh. I ate lots of them as spring onions as well. So these are sort of the ones that we left in there for storage. Got these beautiful, I forget the variety of these ones. And then we got these ones over here, which are drying and curing. These are the smaller size ones that I think I'm going to use for pickled onions for Christmas. So yeah, they are curing and drying nicely. So these are a mixture of onions that I grew from both set and seed. So it was a bit of an experiment really. I've not really been that successful with onions previously. Spring onions, yes, but like proper bulbing onions, no. So I'm quite happy with that. We'll do better next year for sure. Now this is possibly one of the best varieties of tomato that we grew this year. So this is a variety called Sweet Pea Currant, and it has these tiny little cherry tomatoes on it, and they are, as the name suggests, super sweet. They're absolutely perfect, warmed up by the sun. There is nothing better than coming in here after work every day. Usually it's been raining, and helping myself to a few of these beautiful sweet tomatoes, and hoping Abby doesn't notice because she's a little bit protective over the sweet pea currants. Now over here towards the back of the greenhouse, we have my beautiful cucurbits. So these are our cucumbers that we grew this year. I put them in quite late, so the plants didn't reach that much of a size, but they're actually growing all the way along the floor as well and producing these beautiful cucumbers. Now this is a variety called Socrates, so it makes these size cucumbers, so relatively small, lovely and manageable. So we got a couple on there which are good to harvest today. Got a couple on there that will be good to harvest today. So we got a couple on there that will be good to harvest today. Might have them in a salad later on. And we've got more tomatoes going on over here. Well, the weather means that lots of them have just started to split, etc. But they are absolutely fantastic in sauces. These ones here, these little like purpley black ones, are called indigo blueberries. And they're interesting. Not much to write home about flavour-wise, I don't think, but they certainly look pretty in like a tomato salad. Also got these jet black ones over here. Again, the skin's quite thick on those ones, so they're all right in like salads and stuff, but they're not very good for sauces. These ones here, on the other hand, are called Black Russian, I believe is the name for them. or yeah, but they are a variety that does okay in cold climates, and they are absolutely delicious. They're potentially one of the most delicious varieties that we grew this year, so that's definitely one that we're going to be growing again next year, and I'm going to start them off nice and early, and see if we can get like an even bigger crop. So they are going on the short list of ones to grow next year. Look at this. Oh, look at the size of that guy. But yes, if we look underneath here, we've got these beautiful little aubergines. This one's destined to go in a curry a little bit later on in the week, but they are absolutely beautiful. Going to be growing them next year again as well. Going to have to get out of here in a second before I die of heat exhaustion. It is roasting, which I'm not complaining about, but yeah, it is absolutely boiling in here. So the one thing that we didn't have that much luck with this year was the chilies. Now you see these really healthy looking plants here. They are flowering now, but they won't give me a good crop before the end of the season. On this one here, we've got these fantastic, this one's called Christmas Bell, and it has these beautiful like bell-shaped peppers on it. And they're really nice because they aren't too spicy. So yes, hopefully a couple of them will ripen up before the end of the season, but not to worry, because it does mean that I've got lots of beautiful chili plants that I can overwinter in my house. I'll be overwintering them in my study, and I'll probably do a video on how to do that. And it just means that next year they'll have a head start on growing, and hopefully I'll get a really good crop. Because these are all very strong plants. I don't know why, they just didn't do it this year. Maybe it was the weather, it wasn't super hot. In fact, it's been pretty cool down here on the island and very rainy. There is one variety of chilies outside that has done really well, and that's the Thai finger chilies. So let's go down to the end of the garden and look at those. Now, given the amount of rain that we've had in the last few weeks, it will be no surprise to some of you that the fungi have been out in full force. And it was a little bit of a dry spell, metaphorically speaking, for me, mycologically, in the first part of the summer. I hadn't found anything for ages. So I dedicated more time to going out and foraging in the woods, and yeah, we found some incredible stuff. So we've been eating quite a lot of wild fungi over the last couple of days. I am going to do a dedicated mushroom foraging video again soon, because I know how much you guys like that. And I'll make it really pretty with lots of slow motion shots and good music and all of those lovely things that I'm good at. So yes, you can look forward to that in the next coming weeks. See, the thing is, we've only been back for a year here on the island. We lived away for 7 years, and then we moved back last April, I think it was. So dedicating time to finding these spots for foraging and mushrooms and things takes time and discipline. So I've been working hard on that for the last year, and dedicating more time to it in the last couple of months. But the thing that really helped me was last weekend I did the Isle of Wight coastal path. And walking around the coastal path led me through all sorts of woodlands that I wouldn't think to drive to and look in, and we managed to find some brilliant stuff. So that's given me some new enthusiasm to explore more of these smaller patches of woodland around the island, and they are all fantastic and beautiful. So my luck for mushroom foraging is improving. So yes, you can look forward to more mushroom identification and foraging videos in the next coming weeks. So the Isle of Wight coastal path was a bit of a challenge for me this time round. I hadn't done any preparation really, and the course of antibiotics that I was on for Lyme disease had really knocked the stuffing out of me. So I challenged myself to do it in the quickest time possible. But I calculated the hours that I was walking for, and I managed to do 59.8 miles in 22 hours and 50 minutes, which I'm quite happy with. I don't think that's bad at all for someone recovering from an intense course of antibiotics. So yeah, I was pretty proud of that. The only thing to do is carry on getting my strength back, and then go back round again soon, and sort of chart my progress against it. If any of you guys out there are interested in long distance walking paths, the Isle of Wight coastal path is a beautiful one to do. I fully recommend it. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that little look into what we've got going on down here at Field Study HQ this week. It's a very exciting time. There's lots of things happening in the woodlands, in the hedgerows, and yes, over the next few weeks I'll be bringing you more foraging videos, identification videos, and a lot more cooking videos as well. So you can look forward to that. So yes, we will be back to doing a regular live stream every Friday night from about 7 p.m. As of this week. Right, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more foraging videos from this beautiful landscape. Until next week, take care.